Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Priscilla Obasi. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has arrived Vieux Fort, St. Lucia for the first leg of his two-nation trip to the Caribbean and South America. This is contained in a statement issued by the presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanugan in Abuja. Onanuga stated upon arrival of Hewil-Nora International Airport, the president was accorded full military honors and received by the Governor-General of St. Lucia, Cyril Charles, and Prime Minister Philip Pierre. The national coordinator of the Southeast Renewed Hope Agenda, Bello Suchukwu Enweru, has affirmed that President Bola Tinubu holds the Southeast region in high regard and remains committed to advancing its development and economic growth. He made this remark in Umuahia, Abia State capital, during the inauguration and empowerment of small business owners, indigent persons, and women as part of Renewed Hope agenda of President Tinubu's administration. And we noted that President Tinubu is determined to empower citizens in the southeastern states and ensure the region is fully included in the national development agenda. The presidency has debunked reports circulating that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, Senator George Akume, has been replaced by the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman. Reacting to the report, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, in a statement described the trending report as fake and advised the public to disregard it. The media have been awash with reports that Akume has been appointed chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to replace Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The federal government has declared a state of emergency on the construction of the Suleja-Mina Road. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, made this known during an inspection of the road. Umahi explained that the road project was initially awarded to Salini Nigeria Limited. Still, work had either been done poorly or abandoned at some point, and efforts to get them to repair the road over a year and a half have been unsuccessful. The federal government has revealed that it is currently building 6 cancer excellence centers across 6 geopolitical zones for early detection, treatment, and management of all cancer cases. Minister of State for Health, Isiaq Salako, disclosed this in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, while launching the on-site cancer screening test and early cancer screening diagnosis test, which formed part of the workshop on the development of national nuclear medicine guidelines and policy. He noted that the increasing burden of cancer in the country demanded the deployment of all solutions and all management possibilities to tackle the challenge. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government has announced plans to review its healthcare policy for civil servants. This disclosure was made during a free medical screening exercise for civil servants in Abuja, held as part of activities marking the 2025 Civil Service Week. It stated that a more responsive and up-to-date framework is necessary given the rising cost of drugs and persistent gaps in the delivery of healthcare services. The suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has disclosed an instruction President Bola Tinubu gave him amidst his crisis with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. Fubara disclosed that Tinubu directed him to make peace and reconcile with his Oga, referring to Wike. The governor and Wike fell out shortly after he resumed office in 2023. In a related development, suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has urged his supporters to accept the terms of his peace deal with the Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in good faith. Fubara stated this at a meeting with members of his simplified family in Port Harcourt 24 hours after the Abuja peace deal. Fubara said there is no price too big to pay for peace, apparently in reaction to criticism of the peace deal by some people who accused him of surrendering to alleged intimidation. Troops of 1 Brigade Nigeria Army have neutralized a terrorist kingpin identified as Maidada during a counterattack in Maru local government area of Zamfara state. Several suspects were reportedly apprehended during the operation in Kaduna State. Troops of 2 battalions on escort duty in Birnin-Gwari recovered an AK-47 rifle loaded with 30 rounds of 7.62 millimeters special ammunition after engaging fleeing armed men on a motorcycle. Moving on, Enugu State Governor Peter Amba has debunked the speculations that he was leaving the People's Democratic Party, PDP, stressing that he is still very much in the party. The governor made the rebuttal at an interactive session with the members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, NGE, in Enugu. While acknowledging the challenges facing PDP, Mba pointed out that the party was not the one encountering crisis in the country, expressing optimism that the party would soon resolve its problems. You are watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Tinubu, other African leaders canvass homegrown solutions to continent economic challenges. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Welcome back. Now we go to the business news. Economic managers and political leaders must adopt homegrown solutions to tackle economic challenges confronting the African continent. This was the submission of stakeholders at the 32nd African Export-Import Bank Afreximbank annual meeting, which was held in Abuja. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu conferred the president of African Export-Import Bank, Professor Benedict Oramah, with the Grand Commander of the Order of the Nigerian GCON at the event. The Deputy National Chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Highway and Transportation Engineers, NIHTE, Bola Madasiru, has raised concerns over Nigeria infrastructure stock, stating that it is currently standing at 30% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP, far below 70% benchmark recommended for middle-income economies. Madasiru disclosed this while delivering a keynote address on the theme, Nigeria transportation infrastructure, navigating progress, challenges, and opportunities for sustainable growth at the 2025 public lecture and induction ceremony of new engineers organized by Nigerian Society of Engineers, Lagos branch, in collaboration with institution. He describes transportation infrastructure as the backbone of Nigeria's economic aspirations, stressing those efficient systems for the movement of people and goods are fundamental to improving productivity, competitiveness, and inclusive national growth. The Director General of the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering and West Africa, GIABA, Edwin Harris, has called on civil society organizations, national authorities, policymakers, and development partners to renew their commitment to the collective fight against money laundering and terrorist financing in the sub-region. Speaking at the opening of the Regional Sensitization Seminar for Civil Society Organization on Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Financing of Terrorism requirements held at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Lagos, Harris emphasized the strategic role of civil society in shaping policies, influencing public attitudes, and advocating for sustainable anti-corruption reforms. He disclosed that the group has disbursed $300,000 in 2025 to support 12 CSOs across West Africa in their advocacy work and asset recovery and financial crime prevention. Now on the foreign scene, United States senators debated into the early hours of Sunday Donald Trump's big, beautiful spending bill, a hugely divisive proposal that will deliver key parts of the U.S. president's domestic agenda while making massive cuts to social welfare programs. Trump is hoping to seal his legacy with the One Big Beautiful Bill, which will extend his expiring first-term tax cuts to $4.5 trillion and beef up border security. But Republicans eyeing 2026 midterm congressional elections are divided over the package, which would strip health care from millions of the poorest Africans and add more than $3 trillion to the country's debt. The senator formally opened debate on the bill late Saturday after a Republican holds out delayed what should have been procedural votes, drawing Trump's ire on social media. Naftali Bennett, Israel's former prime minister, stated in a televised interview that current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu must leave office. In an interview, Bennett refrained from saying whether he plans to challenge the longest-serving leader in the country in an upcoming election. He called attention to Netanyahu's heavy responsibility for the divisions in Israeli society, highlighting the growing rifts that have emerged under Netanyahu's leadership, especially regarding his handling of the Gaza war since October 2023. The head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog has said Iran has the capacity to start enriching uranium again for a possible bomb in a matter of months. Rafael Grossi, head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, stated that the U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian sites last weekend had caused severe but not total damage, contradicting Donald Trump's claim that Iran's nuclear facilities were totally obliterated. Israel attacked nuclear and military sites on Iran on 13 June, claiming Iran was close in building a nuclear weapon. And now we go to sports. The second edition of the ECHO National School Team Chess Championship came to a rousing conclusion with the University of Lagos laying claim to the tournament today. The total of 31 tertiary institutions from across the country participated in the tertiary category. After 6 hotly contested rounds of action, the University of Lagos finished first and went home with gold medals and the winners' trophy ahead of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University Awka, who ended up with a silver medal as runners-up, while Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife settled for third place and the bronze medal. The University of Benin, Edo State finished just outside the podium places in fourth position. Colleges of Medicine, University of Ibadan came fifth. Delta State University, Abraka, settled for sixth. Lagos State University, Ojo Campus, placed seventh, while Lagos State University Science and Technology tripled eChess Academy and Chess in Islam Africa make up the top 10 positions. Saudi Pro League giants Al Hilal have tabled a stunning €50 million per session contract offer for Victor Osimhen, whilst Napoli have ordered the Nigerian striker to report for pre-season training as his future remains uncertain. The 26-year-old had never been closer to leaving Napoli, with transfer market expert Armando Arignolo, who specializes in Napoli, revealing that the former Lille forward have been the subject of massive offer from the Saudi Arabian club. The extraordinary salary offer comes as Napoli have reportedly directed Osimhen to report for prepared season training ahead of the 2025-2026 season. And still on sports, Nigerian Super Falcons will square off against Ghana Black Queens in a crucial friendly fixture in Casablanca as both West African giants fine-tune their preparations for the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. The encounter represents a final preparatory match for both teams before the Continental Showpiece commences on July 5th in Morocco. For the 9th time, African champions, the clash against their perennial rivals serves as a crucial test ahead of their quest for the 10th WAFCON title, having dominated the competition since its inception as a tournament in 1998. And that is it on Global Television Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using the handle @GlobalTVNG. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Priscilla Obasi. Thank you for watching.